even like a theater famous person playing Michael Jackson, like
Right.
they didn't care that that it wasn't like, you know, like Sutton Foster and Jesse Mueller and like whoever in Six, like they responded to the show and the material. And then in the case of Six, it's like that's a musical with original songs. Like
Yes.
and there's no big production design. It's like a simple show. It's just about the material.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And that's why
Yeah.
people liked it. And the fact that that's the only original musical that's been like a hit, that it is like the least expensive is just, it's mind blowing to me that it's like, that should be the story. That should be the thing that we talk about, not how like every big new musical is failing. It's like, no, look at the one that has been successful in the last few years. And it's like, what makes that successful? It's because people like the songs of that musical. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's poppy.
It's Broadway, bitch.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to It's Broadway, Bitch. It's me. It's Casey. Still here, still your host. Producer Mike over there in the producer chair.
I'm Broadway bitch number 2.
Broadway bitch number 2. Yeah, you're my Broadway.
You should start saying that. It's your Broadway bitch.
You're my Broadway bitch. In the studio, I am so excited. I have to read these credits off because it's so many. The Black Suits, Punk Rock Girl, The Plant That Ate Dirty Socks, Rewrite, Things to Ruin, Love and Hate Nation, Blood Song of Love, Broadway Bounty Hunter, and Be More Chill. I have Joe Iconis. Yay!
Hey, yo, thanks for having me.
I mean, first there's all those shows. You also have like albums,
A lot of albums.
up the butt.
Yeah.
You also perform live, Joe Iconis and Family. So it's like you are never in a writing rut, it seems.
I mean, you know, like it comes and goes. It comes and goes. But yeah, I'm definitely someone who really enjoys being productive, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like a life in the arts, there's so many question marks and you're always waiting for someone else to like give you permission to perform it. So I've always just been like, well, I'm just going to make my own stuff and do my own stuff. So yeah.
I love it. Well, I mean, and you've made so much stuff.
Yeah.
I think I read in an interview, you said the only thing you've ever abandoned was a musical that you got fired from.
Yeah.
Are you able to share what it was?
Yeah, I mean, it was a musical based on Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So,
fun.
Yeah. So I was hired to write it with Joe Trace, who I wrote Be More Chill with.
Yeah.
And so we got this gig, hired to write this musical, and we wrote the whole show. We wrote the whole stinking musical, but the producers at the time and the theater that was producing it at the time, they didn't like it very much. And the director at the time really didn't. She didn't like us, and it was like very clear, like she wanted somebody else, and it wasn't us. And so it just like wasn't a good sitch.
Yeah.
But it does bum me out because it's and the weirdest thing is that we did a reading of it, It was the same week that we started rehearsals for Be More Chill at Two River Theater in Jersey.
Right.
So it was 10 years ago. And the reading, happened, and there's people from the studio and the original author and everything there. And I never feel like this after a reading, but after that reading, I felt like this show is like a hit. Like I was like, that went so well.
Yeah,
I was just sure of it. Like I've never ever had a reading where I felt so sure that something went well, and everyone in the room, and I work with a lot of the same people, and so like all my friends and collaborators, like they were all like, oh damn, like finally he's got like
fire.
a show.
Yeah.
This is a thing. There's fancy people attached. It's like a title that people know.
Yes.
Like I could see them all be like, oh, I'm gonna get cast in this shit, and I'm gonna be like set for years. But no, got fired.
Dang, dude. Wait, nothing ever happened to that? They didn't end up making that musical?
They did end up making the musical.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah. And I think it's out there, and I actually know the team who was hired, and I like them a lot,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I haven't really thought about it. It was one of those things where it was just kind of like it happened, and it was a bummer, and
you've stayed busy.
And yeah, I've stayed busy. I mean,
Can you like rework
the time?
Can you rework the material and call it like the journal of a loser boy or something?
Absolutely not. No, I mean that is the unofficial subtitle of half the musicals I've written, the Journey of a Loser Boy.
Journey of a Loser Boy.
Yeah. But like the problem with my stuff is that I'm such a specific writer that you can't take like my songs and put them in another show. You just can't do it. It's like I so specifically am writing for the character in that story that it's like there's just no world. And so it's like when something like that happens, it's like those songs are dead.
Yeah.
They're I'm putting them in the ground. They live only in the memory of those who are in the room. They're not coming out. Yeah, sorry.
R.I.P. Besides writing, I saw, as I was doing my research, it was your birthday yesterday.
Oh, it was my birthday
Happy
yesterday.
birthday.
Yo, thank you.
So what is real life? What does life look like when you're not writing? Like on a regular day when you're celebrating your birthday or you're just hanging out? Like what are you doing?
Oh my goodness. Well, most of my life is it's not actually writing. Most of my life is doing work that I might describe as office work that will help me to push the boulder up the hill, the boulder of having a life in the American musical theater. You know what I mean? Like I am. I always make jokes about like Iconis Enterprises, and it's like, oh, it's a busy day at Iconis Enterprises, and it's just me, it's me like at my laptop sending emails to producers or artistic directors or organizing, the concerts that I'm doing or trying to get funding for something. And so it's like all of that. That's what I spend the majority of my time doing. And like for me, the dream would be to just do a little bit less of that.
Right.
So I could have a little bit more time to write. Like usually when I write now, it's like a fraught circumstance. And it's like I'm writing because I have a rehearsal that's starting in a day and I gotta like get it out there.
They can't rehearse a thing I haven't made yet.
No, truly,
I feel like that's such a thing that people might not know about creatives is like that there's a lot of clerical work. There's so much that we have to do for ourselves because it's not like we have a ton of people that are doing that when it's our things.
Right. Yeah.
It's like you have to reach out and be like, do you like me enough to do this for me? Like, please.
That makes me happy when your manager goes, well, just send that email out. I'm like, why don't you send that email out? What are you doing?
I know.
Like, I'm waiting for you to send it so I can make the money.
Yeah. It's really wild. Yeah, yesterday, I have a young daughter as well. She's almost a year and a half old.
Oh, amazing.
And yesterday, she like sat on my lap. And she was like miming, typing at my laptop, and it was the first time she ever did that. She was working and she was like so pleased with herself. And I just know, and my wife took a video of it, and I know that like everyone in my family is going to be like, oh, she's writing like her daddy. But I'm going to know, no, she's like sending emails to like Jeffrey Seller that don't get opened. Like it's like she's sending emails into a void from the titans of our industry. That's what she's doing.
Oh my God. It is funny when your kids start to really like mimic you or like know what you're doing. Like the other night, Goldie, my daughter, is almost 2.5 and she was, me and my husband had a show together and I got us glasses of wine and she was like, Daddy, your wine. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, maybe too much. Like she knew exactly. She's like, oh, it's the end of the night wine for Mommy and Daddy. This is what they have past 7 p.m. So I love that you're like, she's just sending emails to producers. I love that you describe, like, because you have all these projects that you kind of like, that you write that you describe as like misfit projects. And I'm wondering kind of like, what do you feel makes them misfit projects?
Oh, I mean, for starters, there are projects that nobody asked for.
Right. Okay.
It's like, which is aside from the job I got fired from, I think all of my musicals, for the most part, are and projects are things that no one asked for. They're things that I was just like, I ought to do this. I ought to write. I ought to write this musical about like mind control devices and teenagers, or like a 70-year-old actress in the middle of a blaxploitation film. Like it's like these are things that speak to me that I feel like I would like to see, and I have a sneaking suspicion that there are other human beings out there in the world who might also enjoy to see these things. So it's that sort of like the kernel of it. And then I think that I'm just drawn to stories of people who feel like they don't quite fit in anywhere, and it's like, I feel like a lot of people know me from stuff that I've written involving teenagers, but as you said, I've written so many things. Shows about teenagers. It's just it is like a corner of my my work that I've done. But whether it's a teenager or the character in their 40s or 50s or 60s or 70s, the thing that I think joins them is this sense of like, oh, I don't quite belong here. I'm a little bit in between the lines, and so it's just something that I'm drawn to like time and time again. And so then that spirit, I think, infects the whole thing through to like to the casting. I'm so proud of every cast I've ever had, and whether it's like a cast of people who have very have huge credentials, who have really long sort of sparkly resumes, or people who have never done anything, or people who have been trying to get a break for 30 years in the business and can't. I love that they're all people who are kind of weird. They're all people who don't look like the typical musical theater sort of sparkly robot that gets cast quite often
Yeah.
lately, you know? So it's like, I
Yeah.
think that there's just this sense of misfitness
Right.
to all of my shows, which I think it is something that sort of classic musicals, or at least musicals in the, you know, the 30s or 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s and most of the 90s had. Like they all kind of
Yeah.
had this it's like a charisma, it's a personality, you know. I call it misfitness, but it's really that, you know. It's like it's that sense of like, oh, look at these like specific creatures who are on this stage doing this thing, you know.
Yeah, I like that. I like Misfits. I like that you. What do you call your the family band? You call them like a punk music. What are you saying? Like little punks?
Oh
or
yes,
something?
like musical theater punks.
Musical theater punks, which is such a funny thing because it's like you think musical theater and you think punks and you put them together, but you visually you can see that. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm like I can understand what that means.
Yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea.
Yeah, and I like that. And I like that you said that you are, I read something else where you said that you're inspired by whiskey and the Muppets, which I think is like such a funny thing. And I'm just wondering what would a musical about drunk Muppets be called? Because I would like to see it.
I mean, it's called the Untitled Unauthorized Hunter S. Thompson musical. I wrote it trying to get it to New York City.
It's
quite literally,
yeah.
Yes, it's that. It's like it's drunk Muppets inside of Pee-wee's Playhouse, like putting on a production of Pippin or something.
I mean,
think
that's amazing.
That's the musical is.
That's amazing.
But yeah, I would love to. Well, the Muppets are going to be on
They
Broadway
are coming
in this,
to Broadway.
in this magic show, whatever the fuck
I know
that
they didn't even
is.
have to work for it.
It's
a little infuriating.
They did Manhattan Melodies in 1985.
They did Muppets Take Manhattan.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a good. Did you ever see Muppets Take Manhattan?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Fantastic.
Okay, good.
I was thinking when they first announced it that it was going to be the Muppet Show.
No.
And then when I saw it was I love magic, I'm going to still see it, but I was like, I thought it was going to be like Welcome to the Muppet Show, which I thought would have been awesome.
Which would have been awesome.
I'm hoping that happens. I always put out into the world that I desperately want to work with the Muppets because I love them so much and I'm so inspired by them.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm fancy enough to like get in the door. But
For the Muppets?
I don't think so.
Let's make a call.
Yeah.
I'll write a letter to
I'll hit Jason Segel. Maybe he can get us in. He's done some work with the Muppets.
Jason Segel.
Segel's a big
If
Muppet
you're
guy.
listening.
You know, he's a big. He's written the show a few times. Who's your favorite Muppet though? I feel like this is going to say a lot.
My favorite Muppet is Ralph.
Rolf.
I love him
He's
so
got heart.
much.
Well, he's also the pianist.
He's the pianist. Yeah. I always loved him. I've loved him from the time I was a kid. Like I was just so drawn to him. I think I love the color brown because of him. You know, I was
Because of Rolf?
I think like I was just like a little like child. I was like, that's the most beautiful color I've ever seen in my whole life. You know, and he's like such a dusty creature. But I also
he feels old too.
yeah.
He
Like
feels
wise
like
beyond his
old
years.
dog. Yeah.
He's a wise old dog.
Yeah.
But I also really identify with Kermit in a huge way. You know, it's like the one sort of getting everybody together, and Kermit, especially in Muppets Take Manhattan, he feels like such a weight on his shoulders. You know, he always feels like, I gotta make the show happen for all these people who I believe in so much.
Yes.
And I really, I just identify with it. You know,
I love that. Do you not understand how much of my life I think I've needed to talk about the Muppets Take Manhattan and Kermit's Load. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Anytime. That's what I'm here for.
And that's the end of the pocket. No, I'm just kidding. I'm partial. I think Rizzo the Rat, the waiter, is the best.
Rizzo's so good.
Rizzo and Jenny, pretty good pair. Pretty good pair.
Yeah,
and nobody questions why there's a rat. And I just, you know what? I like that as well.
Yeah,
and
of
the
course
Piggy and Joan Rivers scene.
Oh, it's like
Classic.
one of the greats.
Yes.
Miss Piggy is like you just can't. I can't imagine a better character than Miss Piggy.
I can't imagine a world without Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
She's necessary.
Inspiration. Yeah, truly.
I want to congratulate you on. I just saw Be More Chill, 10 years old.
Yeah.
Started back in 2015.
It did.
And you guys did a reunion over the summer, and so I kind of want to talk about just its trajectory and its history because it's been streamed over 500 million times.
Yeah.
Not nothing.
No, it's crazy. It's the wildest thing. It's amazing.
And I love that that you say, you know, when people are like, oh, social media brought it back, and you said no, people brought it back. Yeah. And I think that that's a really cool thing to say and an important distinction to make. And I want to know why did you feel compelled to kind of make that distinction that it's not social media, it's the people that like it, and then they tell other people, and yes, on social media, but it's the people that brought it back.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, I think it's just the truth. You know, it was because I'm as the person who was like the one who was in control of the like Be More Chill social media accounts. I know from firsthand experience, there was no entity pumping money into, into like getting followers. Like there was no one behind it except like this guy right here with no sort of support system and the people who made it, who believed in it, like my fellow cast members. But like it was simply just, it's the social media is it's the tool that was used because it's the tool of the day, and in the way that like radio or like passing sheet music around in like Tin Pan Alley would have been like the mode of how people discovered things. But it was excitement from human beings who were getting turned on by the music. Like it was as simple as that, and it was like, most people like their gateway drug for Be More Chill was Michael in the Bathroom, that song, that was the song that kind of like found people, and then young people especially, and then they discovered the show through that. But I mean, that's like just the most old school way to discover something. And I just think it's an important distinction because I think it's really confusing in these times when we're like receiving everything on screens, because everything takes on a sameness, everything has the same amount of weight on the screen, and it's easy to forget like, okay, a show like Be More Chill, it's like a mom and pop story, there's no corporation behind it, there's no entity behind it. And there's lots of other shows that maybe do use social media to propel themselves, and some of those some of those success stories are organic, and some of them it's because there's a big corporation pumping millions of dollars into it. And I think it's like important to remember the things that happen because of people, human beings, and not just like money.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible that it was able to take on this other life, and
cool.
It was like, I mean, that's how I found it. It was all of a sudden. I think I was working for a theater, I might have been working for Today Tix at the time, and everyone was like, "Okay, this is coming back." And so I bought a ticket. I saw it off Broadway. I saw it on Broadway. I think it's cool. And as of this morning, Michael in the Bathroom has been streamed 63,609,863 times.
Nice.
Why do you think it's so low compared to I don't know, the Beatles,
why only
perhaps?
63 million?
No, I know it's because I didn't work hard enough.
Oh my God,
I didn't try.
Yes,
I should have sent one more email about it,
or had your daughter send one. You know,
my lazy daughter.
She's 1.5. Get to work, kid. This is New York, but it is for Michael the Bathroom, and I want to know like why, like when you were writing it, did you feel like it was gonna, because it's a special song. It is it's like if I were to ever do miscast, I ask people about their miscast songs a lot, but like it's just such a special song. And did you know when you were writing it that it was gonna connect the way that it did? Like when you are there songs that you write where you're like how you felt with that one? You're like, this is a banger. Like, this is,
I hope not, because the last time you felt that, you got fired.
I know it didn't go well.
Yeah, but this one where you were like, oh, this is gonna go well. Yeah.
No, it's for me. I really don't think. I don't think in those terms, right? Because it's like I'm not operating on a level where it's like it's like quote unquote possible to have a hit of that magnitude.
Sure.
It's a bizarre thing that I've had that with that song and with other songs, and it's like I'm not I'm not like working with the label that's pushing stuff. It's like it's just like I would never imagine like, oh yeah, I'm gonna write the song and then it's gonna be listened to 63 million times. That's such a preposterous number.
Yes.
But
like
you get $10 per stream. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You want to buy the studio.
Yeah, correct.
You can invest.
Yeah, correct. That's why I do my own graphic design. Because
His
I make
next
so much
play
money.
is going to be on the moon.
The dream. Mars, not the moon. But
Mars.
Sure.
But like
Mike.
But when I wrote that song, I thought like, oh, the song is exactly what I wanted to say. Like that's when I get a good feeling about a song, that's or a show or a scene or whatever, it's like that's what it is. It's like, okay, what I intended to write, that's what this thing is. And so I don't know if it's good, I don't know if it's bad, I don't know if people are gonna like it, but I know this is what I intended to write, so I can stand behind it. And I felt that very strongly with that song. But I mean, it just like it took on a life of its own, and really, it's like I'm half I think, responsible for
And
it.
George.
But George Salazar, it's like George Salazar, when he first performed that song, it took it to a place that's bigger than either of us, you know? And it's like, I'm I'm obsessed with actors, and I'm obsessed with collaboration, and I'm obsessed with what each individual human being brings to a song or a character or a show or whatever. And, the collaboration between myself and George on that song, it's what made it the thing, you know? And so, it's all those it's like that's like the magic of not even just musical theater, but art, you know? It's like all these different people coming together to participate in making this thing, and, along with the audience, and then it's like then how, people received that song, that also fed into how other people heard it, because then the song is framed in a certain way. It's like, I feel like when I first started doing that song, people weren't totally sure how they were supposed to react to it. You know? And I write a lot of songs that it's purposely confusing. I'm like, oh, is this a funny song, or is this a sad song, or is this an angry song? Or, and so and because I feel like life is all of those things mixed up, right? And so Michael in the Bathroom was a song that people would like sort of react to, like, I think this is funny, right? Like,
but I'm feeling emotions.
Pee, so you don't say pee if it's not funny. And so then I think, George's performance took it to a place where clearly it was like, oh, even if you thought it was funny at the beginning, it gets to a different sort of place. And then I feel like then people see it through that lens, and then it can even take on a larger life. And so that's like the audience itself is collaborating in the song. Yeah,
it is one of those moments in the show where, like, you ever like be watching a show and someone's on stage and it just like you're so honed in that like everything else kind of goes black.
Yeah.
And you're like this, like that's it's one of those moments where he like starts to sing and you're like, okay, all right. It's definitely felt like so, and he really is incredible. Yeah, I actually, when I saw Be More Chill, I didn't know. When I bought tickets off Broadway, it was like a night where my tickets, I got to hang out afterwards and say hi to everyone. They were doing like a talk or something,
cool. Yeah.
And so I actually got to like meet them and take pictures and stuff like that. And it was very, very kind.
Good.
Be More Chill. It started as a graphic novel.
Yeah.
Right? Were you a big like comic book graphic novel person?
No. Heavens, no.
Because I'm like, what? So what about Be More Chill made you think songs?
Yeah. So it was like
songs.
Yeah. It so it was so technically a YA novel, right? I think they subsequently made it into a graphic novel, but it's a YA novel by the late great Ned Vizzini, and it was given to me by my agent at the time, not necessarily to turn into a musical, but he literally read it and he said, "I read this book. It just reminded me of you."
Yeah.
And so because I am the way I am, he was like, "Just read it and see if it's inspiring in any way."
Yeah.
And I did. And probably because he didn't say, you should turn this into a musical, I was like, this should be a musical.
Yeah.
And so to me, I really loved how it played in these like archetypal characters, and then turned the characters on their head. And so I'm someone who I'm also like a massive film fan, and I love I love a teen horror comedy, and so it felt like I loved that it sort of trafficked in that world of like teen horror comedy tropes, and I felt like it would be a really cool sort of like delivery mechanism to talk about really serious issues in a way that that felt really funny and light, and it was just like, oh, this is like a musical comedy, And when I read it, I felt like this feels very old fashioned to me in a way that was really appealing. Like this feels like a traditional musical comedy with like a bit of supernatural sci-fi element, like Damn Yankees or something. So for me, I was like, oh, I want to just write like a classic musical comedy, and that's how it started for me.
Yeah, and it does play with the tropes, with the high school tropes, which is fun, and that sci-fi thing. It is really like, I had no idea what to expect, and you watch and you're kind of like, this is, and you've even said it's not like anything that's ever really been out there. It's very different. It deals with a lot of different things, but the whole package coming together is like a fun, enjoyable, like you're just watching, so you're like, I liked it.
I think so. I think so. I mean, a lot of people hate it so deeply, but I think it's fun, and I think it's good.
It is.
It's it's like it was just always intended to be a show that was a musical comedy and not.
Do you think people that were like critics of it, you're like you took it too seriously?
No, I actually think it was the opposit. I think that it just had the weirdest. It had the weirdest life. So I think that
it had a really weird life.
By the time that it got to New York, because it got to New York the way it did, which was just from this cast album going viral, which was like it was the first time that happened, and it could never happen that way again.
Right.
But like there, people already had an idea of like what the show was, so I feel like the critics of the show kind of came to it with this idea of like, oh, this is like a show for kids,
It's not.
And so, and it wasn't as like the person who wrote it, like I know for a fact I did not write it for kids.
Yeah,
like, I wrote it for what I write everything for me, I love teen comedies, and it's like a lot of people do, and so I to me it was like, the characters are teenagers, but that doesn't mean that I'm turning off and like not taking them seriously, and like and just because their vocabulary is the vocabulary of young people, it doesn't mean that like what they're saying isn't worthwhile and doesn't have like hidden meanings. And so I feel like the sort of critics of the show kind of like came to it as like, this is a piece of shit, sort of with that idea. And so they didn't lean into it. They weren't looking for like, oh, what does that lyric actually mean? Like, what are these like, references actually getting to? It was just sort of like only surface for people. And then I think once you have like an initial critical reaction that says that, then it's impossible to like dig out of that hole.
Do you think, now I saw the video when like everybody was getting told it was moving to Broadway. Do you think, would you have rather it stayed kind of at Pershing Square at the off-Broadway, or was it like, do you know what I mean? Just to, do you think it would have had a longer life there?
Yeah, I mean, I think in theory it would have, but the reality of the economics of commercial off Broadway is that it just doesn't work. Like it can't sustain itself. Like that's just what it is, and it's like Little Shop of Horrors can work because they get like famous people to be in, and so I guess if I, and also it is like a title that is known, you know what I mean?
It's old school,
And so like it's just something that doesn't work, and so it's the reason that shows that are big hits like off Broadway go to Broadway is because they can't stay off. Most of them,
need money.
unless it's like maybe a one-person show,
right,
like a two-person show. It's like you just literally can't stay. Like you're
Perfect crime.
You're mounting.
I bring it up as much as I can.
That's that. Like
the most sustainable show.
And it's so hard, and it's hard for me because I write the sort of show that I think used to be the kind of show that people would be like, this should just stay off Broadway, and
right.
But it's like that's just literally not. That's not a thing anymore. It's simply not a thing. It's like there's a reason that O'Mara didn't stay at the Lucille Hotel. And it's like it seems like duh now. That went very well, and like they went to the Lyceum where we went. But it's like it couldn't have stayed. It wouldn't have made any money. It would have closed. Like it would have sold out every performance and closed because that is the economics of that type of show. A show that doesn't have famous people in it and isn't like a recognizable title.
But and Be More Chill has had kind of like I mean, it makes a lot of sense, but it did go on to like, there was like a version in Japan.
Oh yeah, I mean we played the West End and and it has a life, and like they just announced today that they're gonna do a 5-year West End anniversary concert.
Oh, cool.
And
Do you get to go? I mean, you're gonna go.
I think I'm gonna go. Yeah.
You should go.
You think you're gonna go? What a weird thing to hear you say.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll check tickets.
It sounds nice. Yeah.
Just get in line for Rush tickets in the morning.
Yeah. I'm gonna enter the lottery maybe.
Yeah, the tickets are reasonable. We'll see, please. I've bought so many tickets to my own shows.
Sure.
We hear that more and more with people that they're like, I buy tickets for my parents. I buy tickets for my friends.
You just don't like. Everyone always thinks that you like get free tickets. You just don't. Like
you don't.
Like, no, I mean I get some. Like if I can go to the Be More. I am.
Like you could go see it.
I am probably going to go to the Be More Chill British concert, and I'll probably like do a song or something. But so I'm not talking about that specifically. But like in general, it's like I'm always just like I guess I'll just buy a.
Yeah.
I'll go online and like buy a ticket to this thing that I wrote
that has my name on it.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite? You brought up teen horrors and like that type of thing. Do you have a favorite? Because I'm a huge fan of that genre, and I always feel like I'm a little bit alone in that. Do you have like a favorite version of a teen horror, or like
gosh,
like title series? what
Like,
would
or
be?
do you like the old '80s, like the Fridays and the Jasons and all those guys?
all
All those guys,
all
the-
those
all the
gents,
dudes, all the murders.
dudes. Oh, very hip. I really, it's like we get into then conversations about like what defines that, what is that? But like I think like Halloween is my fave if we're talking like horror movie involving teens. So like Halloween and the Halloween series is probably my number one. But I love the Sleepaway Camp.
I was
movies.
just about to ask you if
I'm
you
a
have seen
big-
Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Have you
The
seen
greatest.
Sleepaway?
Oh yeah.
The
You
greatest.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, the greatest.
I mean, we can't give away the ending, but
No.
like.
Oh,
What a
That,
great
as
movie.
a child watching that, we were all like, "What?" Like it is fully the thing. I
It
still
is.
sometimes when I'm
Yeah.
on a
Angela.
lake sing "Bobbery Bob, Bobbery Bob," when he's like under the thing. And you like Carrie too, right?
I love Carrie.
Carrie is a big like that was also a musical that was like did not do well, but it seems that people are like still obsessed with it.
I'm obsessed with Carrie the musical.
There's like a whole podcast about it.
I was on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to consider myself one of the foremost authorities on Carrie the musical currently living.
I love
I'm
it.
just obsessed with it. I love it so
I've heard
much.
also Jack Malone is obsessed with it. Somebody was saying that it's like because we were trying to get him on the pod, and somebody was like, he loves Carrie the musical. They're like, ask him about
That's how
Carrie
to
the
get 'em.
musical.
Dude, I'm doing on Thursday night.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a guest at the Drama Bookshop because the guy who did
Yes,
the podcast,
that's-
right, with Jack Malone is moderating it, and,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go and talk about
We
Carrie.
actually our friend Garler was talking about that. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's a huge.
It's the
there's
best.
a huge thing.
So fun.
Because you also are doing a Halloween show. This will come out a little bit after, but
Yeah.
you have said like it's going to be songs from spooky musicals.
Yeah,
and I want to
yeah.
know what spooky musicals.
Oh, the classics. Like I haven't done the set
Cats.
list yet, but yeah, Cats, Redwood,
Avenue
next to normal.
Q.
Yeah. Dead, all
Spooky,
the
scary.
musicals with Dead Sons. And Dead Son musicals.
All the ghost musicals. Yeah.
But no, like we'll do like maybe like Iraqi Horror, maybe I really love Shock Treatment, the sequel to Iraqi Horror. We might do a Shock Treatment song.
Ooh, I don't know that one.
Oh my God, Shock Treatment is so good.
Okay.
Oh, it's great. It's
I'll listen.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like imagines the world as a TV studio, and so it's a very strange movie that kind of like predicted reality TV like years before it was a big flop when it came out. But it's great. It's really a
But there's so
killing-
many of those things
killing
that like
movie.
came out a long time ago that people were like this will ever happen, and then you go back and you're like, that's fucking happening. Like
Right.
it
It's
is
just like literally happened. Yeah.
all of the stuff. Yeah. Because I
Yeah.
know even you're writing that Hunter S. Thompson thing, and
Yeah.
you wrote that song, Wave Song,
Yeah.
that is about essentially crazy things happening in the 60s and how people were upset about what was going on, and it's the exact same thing that's happening right now.
It's just the same thing.
It's the same thing.
We did it.
we need to grow up. Is what we need to do.
I know. We need to learn, but
That seems impossible.
it's impossible.
It
Yeah.
seems impossible.
Yeah, and when we learn the wrong lessons, I think. But
I think so too.
We did that show in DC this summer,
Yeah.
Hunter S. Thompson musical, and it was so crazy because people would think that I would write things like that morning that they would see. People thought that I was like tailoring the script to the current events.
But
Of the day, and it's like, no, this is just.
This is the 60s.
This piece of writing has existed for a week or a month or a year or 10 years, and it's like an event that happened or a thing that someone said in 1969.
the
it's
only
wild.
thing that makes me feel better about that is to know that things in between there were moments that were okay. You know what I mean? Like that we can have another maybe 60 years of goodness in between all the shittiness.
Listen,
maybe?
that's I find hope in it. I really do.
We have to.
Yeah, and and Wave Song, my song, the chorus is like it gets better and worse and better and worse and better. It gets better and worse, and that's the idea. That it's just this is like it's the history of time. It's just there's peaks and valleys, and it gets really really bad, and then it gets better, and it will just always be that cycle. I believe.
I hope so. We
Yeah.
have for our children, we have to hope that.
Yeah.
She, I don't, for them.
Roxy and Goldie.
We need them. And I love that you named her Roxy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You said after Roxy Hart.
Yeah.
After the murderous
Yeah.
lead.
Mary Murderous. Yeah. She gets away with it at the end. How can I not?
She does get away with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so spooky things. The Hunter S Thompson musical.
Yeah.
So I know it was just in Virginia. Is it coming? Are we trying to get it? We're trying to get it here.
No, I really it's always sort of been my dream to like have a show that plays for 4 weeks in Virginia and nowhere else.
And then it's done. I feel
I've
accomplished
been
with
working on
that.
it for 15 years. Yeah.
I know.
Attainable
Well,
goals.
15. Yeah. It's 15 years.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember a time in my professional life when I wasn't working on the show because it was
my
my idea and like
gosh.
it's been just the craziest thing, and so
4 weeks in Virginia. No. That's
I think we nailed it.
I peaked.
Yeah, so I feel really good. 4 weeks.
We
in
got
Virginia.
a pro shot.
That's what I was hoping for.
Virginia
What's
audience
stewing
is
around, because everything's 10, 15 years till anyone
know.
knows about it.
Yeah.
Is outside of those is there something that you're like, but what's coming next? I got this like great idea for.
I mean,
you don't obviously have to tell us.
I have
but
a few. I definitely have a few ideas for new shows. I'm in a weird spot where it's like this is the first time in a while that I haven't had a show that was yet to hit a stage. I've always worked on a million things at once.
And you've been on like every New York stage. Like, I mean, all over New York.
I've been on concert stages, yes, right?
Yeah.
So like when I play with my concert act, yeah. But I've actually been produced like very little in New York City. Like I did a show at Ars Nova in 2010.
Yeah.
But then I've never done any other like New York nonprofit ever. Like nothing.
I thought were you on second stage too?
So like second stage. So this is a weird thing.
Okay.
So I had this like concert essentially called Things to Ruin, right?
Yeah.
And so we did the concert was produced by Kurt Deutsch, who runs Ghostlight Records, or used to run Ghostlight Records.
Yeah.
And at the time that we did it, Everyday Rapture, the Sherry Renee Scott show, was playing there. Kurt was married to Sherry at the time. And so because of that, we did like Monday nights when she was dark on the set, but it wasn't like a second stage production, so we did like 4 performances. Sort of. But I mean, it's like one of those things where I was like, we played second stage, it's a lot of the like.
I say go for it.
It's it's like people who like danced on stage at the end of that Hair revival who were like, I made my Broadway debut at the Hirschfeld. Like it was essentially that idea. But
I know a comic who was in the audience of Jimmy Fallon, and the crowd, they panned to the crowd, and he used that as a credit.
Yeah.
Not as a joke though, and that was tough.
You've seen him on Jimmy Fallon, like you've seen him. You just saw him. You saw him there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But it's like it's so weird. Like so much of my career has existed in regional theaters and sort of like hovering around.
Yeah, you're circling.
I'm circling.
I do want to ask you something, and I hope are we able to talk about the Tonys a little bit?
Oh my God, yeah. Please.
Okay, great. Okay,
would love to.
Because I know that there was a whole thing because you guys were nominated for a Tony.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize this till I was looking at your Twitter and I saw what George, that they told you guys you couldn't sing Michael in the bathroom because it was too long.
Yeah.
And then they did a parody of it that was longer than the original song.
Yeah.
And they didn't ask you.
No.
Or credit you.
No. Or tell me.
Or tell you.
Yeah.
Or tell you. Like
Yes.
that honestly feels a little crazy. And I want to know, I guess, what was the part that was most frustrating? That they didn't tell you, that they told you you couldn't sing it, or that they didn't credit you? Because James Corden had to kind of go on and be like, this is the original song, like, please check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was what was happening there? Because that feels like that I would have been like, really?
Right. It was a very very challenging night and time.
Yeah.
I'll give you the like lead up to
Please.
the evening of the Tony Awards. So like our show, our show had a weird thing because we always had these like very sort of robust, enthusiastic crowds, but it was just the financials of the show just like weren't working out. And it was about the ticket prices, like our ticket prices, like we couldn't sell them like high enough to like keep it going, And so it leading up to the Tony Awards, it was like, we know that we need to get nominated for Best Musical in order to keep open, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and it doesn't mean that just because you get nominated for Best Musical doesn't mean that all of a sudden people are going to come, but it would like, it's like that would be like the last thing that could possibly happen, this last bit of like hope, where then it's like maybe like if we got that, then we could convince the investors to put a little more money in because we have a TV appearance, and it's like this could be something that could turn us around, right?
Yeah.
In the same way that Beetlejuice, who did get nominated for Best Musical, like they all credit their Tony performance as fully turning their show around. Like their show was going to close, and they were like, that was the thing. thing, right?
Yeah.
And so it can happen. And so that's what we were all hoping for, right? And so, you know, when the Tony nominations came out, you know, I was like watching them, right? And my wife, Lauren Marcus, she's an actress and a writer.
She's in the show,
She was
yeah.
in Be More Chill, right? And so the whole time I really tried to keep everything separate from her because she was in the cast and like I didn't want to bother her with any like behind the scenes stuff, and I tried to like be very sacred about not, you know, involving her and that kind of stuff.
That's
But you know, people were kind of expecting that I was going to get nominated and George Salazar was going to get nominated.
Yeah.
And then we were like cautiously hopeful we were going to have Best Musical nomination, which would then, you know, mean like, okay, we potentially could stay open, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like watching the nominations, and it's like it like then George didn't get nominated, and then it was just like oh my God, we're not gonna get nominated. And then they said my name, and the whole time, and it's like it's so hard to talk about this because it's hard to be like I was nominated for a Tony Award. It's so sad, but like it was a really crazy thing because I am someone who is so obsessed with like the community aspect of theater. Like I really am. Like it's not bullshit. Like I'm very loyal to the people who I'm around, and I'm very like that's why I do it, you know?
Yeah.
And so like the whole time I was just like I just don't want to be the only person from this show
I know.
like nominated, you know? And so then I was the only
Right.
person nominated, and so like that day it was kind of like I knew we're gonna close, so then it's just a matter of when, you know?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so it was like then, you know, I'm doing there's all these events leading up to the Tony Awards.
Yeah.
And I was by myself at all of them because like you don't get like a +1 to these like Tony Award events. And I was
That sucks.
wild.
That
it was so
sucks.
insane. And so, you know,
Just Andrew Lloyd Webber looking around with nobody
it's
with
like,
him.
you know,
Like,
I
what
mean,
do we do?
I'm sure he gets a +1,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
But
of
like, you know, but it's like, but also it's like everyone's there with their show, and our show I think was literally the only show or the only musical that only got one nomination. So it's like literally everyone else who was there
Had a crew. Yeah.
And so I would be at these like, you know, like meals and stuff, and it would be like the person who comes to the wedding who like doesn't have a date, you know, so I would just get like put at a random table. It was just so weird. And then
I felt with all the puppets from whatever
my God,
puppet
from
show
King
was
Kong.
happening.
No, it was the King Kong year. No. The King, everyone was
just a
talking
foot.
about the fucking King Kong puppets. That was like this thing where I'm
That
just
was the
like
only thing to talk about. Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. My drunk line during that whole like 3 months was like, yeah, if I had $20 million, I could come up with a really great fucking puppet too.
Yes.
You know, it's like,
yes.
yeah, it's a beautiful puppet.
Yeah.
But so it was really
Good for you and your puppet.
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah. So it was really, really hard, right? So then it was decided, okay, show's gonna close, but we want like the goodwill from the Tony Awards, and we want to use it, and we want to keep everything really positive. And so like they were like, we can't announce the show's gonna close until like a couple weeks after the Tony Awards. So they told me, but they were like, you can't tell anybody.
So you knew.
So I knew. Yeah. So I knew.
You're like, wrong guy to
That's
tell.
so
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't. So I
like,
didn't tell my
makes
wife.
me-
I didn't tell any of my best friends who were like in the show, and so I just like
that
kept
makes
this
me-
terrible secret.
That like hurts my heart.
It was so bad. It was so sad. And so then like, you know, my wife and I like go to the Tony Awards, and I was just like, you know, just try to have like as good an experience as you can. And there were so many like young people who really were excited by it. And they were like, it was, and so I never wanted to like put my own shit on like, you know, anyone who was really like, you know, using this as a source of like hope or something, right? And so like we're gonna go to the Tony Awards, and you know, we're sitting there, and it's you know, it's fine, whatever. And yes, there had been a whole thing about trying to get George to sing Michael in the bathroom on the telecast, and they said no, which is totally fine because they don't have to say yes because we weren't nominated for Best Musical.
Yeah.
And then the parody thing came on, and I had no idea. No one told
It's
me.
insane.
And it is like one of those things where it's just some like the universe like conspired to have me like find out in that moment, because like the fact that no one who was like at that, you know, dress rehearsal scene, it wouldn't have texted me. It's just so bizarre.
Yeah, that's so weird that so many
Yes.
people's hands were involved in
Yes.
that, and they
And I just
never got back to you.
No, and so it like started
It's
happening,
wild.
and I really felt like I think I'm losing my mind. Like I felt like
You're like, is
think
this my song?
I'm losing my mind. And
You
then
started
people-
getting up. You're like, "Where's my mic?"
It was like, yeah, people around me were like, everyone assumed that I would think it would be a really like good thing, you know. So then
Yeah.
people around me are like looking at me like, yeah, woo, way
And
to
you're
go.
like, no woo.
And I'm just like, what is this? It was
Yeah.
so bizarre. And then they didn't credit the show, and it was
I know.
and for me, it's like I don't even care, you know. It's like I don't care about crediting me, but it was just like they didn't even say the show. Like no one would know what this was from. It was just
Yeah.
the weirdest thing. And so then I'm like in the audience of the 20 Awards, and immediately I start emailing everyone on the show, and it's like, this just happened. How can we use this to try to get some attention on our show in the hopes that maybe we don't have to close? You know, it's like, so then immediately it became about that.
You're like, campaign, let's do this.
No, honestly, yeah. Like it was an immediate thing as the 20s were going on, and I'm like on my phone.
Because I feel like, did they cut to you in the broadcast?
I don't remember. I don't remember if they did.
That's insane.
It was so crazy.
Because it feels a little like, okay, let's use this viral song.
Yes.
For us, and not really, to not give you any of like your props for it or your. I just not even to credit it, just to be like, what a great song from Be More Chill.
Yeah.
Like it's just insane that it had to be till after James Corden had to like tweet it. Like the Tonys didn't even, because they didn't say anything, right?
No.
Like,
I mean, I think they might have tweeted. It was, you know,
who knows?
It just doesn't. It's very silly. And I'm bummed that happened.
Yeah.
And I just wish that George could have sang Michael in the Bathroom on the 20 Awards. I think that would have been a really nice thing. And whether or not it would have like helped our show stay open, I think it would have been a really cool thing to have on national television.
Yeah, especially since it was a good enough song to get the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that, you know, the magic, through the magic of the internet and YouTube, I feel very strongly as someone who, you know, I'm like a theater nerd, and like I grew up being obsessed with the Tony Awards and Tony Awards history, and like, and getting, you know, bootleg Tony Awards from like the 70s off the internet, like off, you know, like Playbill chat rooms and everything.
Yeah.
So I could see the performances. Like I feel like time will be kind to our musical and the songs from our musical, and perhaps not as kind to, you know, other shows or whatever that have been televised on other Tony Awards in the last 10 years. So
but I can see how it's like being such a fan, being like, oh, that's not the way I maybe. That's not the way I maybe wanted my songs to be presented. Like I would have liked to have been part of it.
Yeah. The whole thing. But you know, I'm not an awards guy.
Sure.
You know, when people talk about EGOTs, it makes me want to vomit. But it's so like, that's not the dream you should have. But if that's your dream, great, good for you, cool.
Yeah.
But I like the idea. I think it's fun. You know, it's like a fun thing. I would love to be back on the Tony Awards, and I am like so excited to one day have a show that feels like it is embraced in a way that like I could be there with the people I made it with, and we could like do a number and like that. I'm like, I think it'll be so exciting and so fun. Yeah. And I long for that day.
I love that. I hope you also get it, because it, you know, you do good stuff, and
thanks.
You've got a lot, and I love that you are just a musical theater fucking nerd. Like I love that you said that you like the old school stuff, like cabaret. Now, what are your thoughts on that? The whole thing of like, hey, let's turn this into it, like of changing the whole theater. Yeah. Like, are you for? Are you against? Like, did you see the new production of it?
Yeah. Of course.
And did you like that kind of world that they created?
Yeah.
Or were you like, the show could have been? I would have liked it just as much on a regular stage.
I mean, I think the cool thing about, you know, musicals that exist that everyone, you know, knows, like the musical doesn't go away, you know, and so it's like I saw the 54 revival of Cabaret probably 30 times because I was in college when that came out, and so I volunteer ushered for it all the time because I was obsessed with it, and so you know, like that was like my cabaret, you know, and like I still have that cabaret, and and this new production I thought was really cool. I loved the environmental stuff. I thought it was amazing, you know, like all of that stuff. It's just like, do you need it? No.
So much money.
It's so much money.
And ultimately it didn't. It you know, it's closing, and I don't know if I don't think it made money.
No, I read yesterday in the feature that came out on my birthday about how like musical theater is dead.
Oh
yeah, in the New York Times.
Oh yeah, my husband said that I have to log onto his account to read it because I only pay for the games.
Oh nice, yeah.
I'm like, I just do my spelling bee. I don't actually want to read the fucking news all the time. Yeah. But I did see it was the Smash picture of Smash musical and saying Broadway. But like, I feel like they say that all the time, and then this year had more new musicals than any that like had. I think we were at almost full capacity. Of theaters. Yeah, and the show's coming. Like, I don't think it. Like, I get that people are like, there are shows that are doing smaller scale things, but then there's also Death Becomes Her.
Right.
Full out set. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I mean, do you think we're dying?
Do I think musicals are dying?
Do you think musicals are dying?
No, I don't.
I don't think so either.
I don't think musicals are dying. I just think that you know, Broadway has always been a strange a strange beast, and there's
Yes.
there's always, you know, it's like the thing about Broadway that I love is that big, huge spectacles that cost $20 million can be playing literally next door to a tiny little show,
Yes.
you know, that has no set and just a couple of chairs, and that variety, I think, is what makes Broadway as a commercial enterprise so exciting. And so I
Yeah,
think that there just
that's
always
true.
needs to be a balance of that, right?
Yeah.
And I am like old school and of the belief that when it comes to musicals, I really think that the thing that joins that connects most great musicals and great artistically and great commercial successes is that the material is good and that
Yeah.
the songs are good. I think that's the thing. And I think that we're getting into a very like weird time where there's a lot of musicals that cost like 20 million, 30 million, 40 million,
Many
however,
millions.
you know,
Many.
millions of dollars with songs that suck. I think they suck, and it's like I'm so sick of hearing.
How did it get past everybody with that many millions of dollars on the
Right.
line? How did it get all the way up the ladder?
I think that there's like a million. I could talk for like 10 hours about it, but it's like there's a million reasons. But I also think that like people's taste is eroding. I really do. I think that people, and it's like not necessarily the audience. The audience, I think the taste is eroding a little bit because we're doing it, or not. I'm not, or I hope I'm not. But it's like the shows that are being put in front of people, I think are
No, it's the
they're
taste makers
changing the taste.
is what
It's the
people have
taste
talked about. It's the
makers.
taste makers.
It's real. It's so
Yeah.
it's so real. It's like I just feel like some of these musicals, some of these big fat Broadway musicals that everyone loves to hold up as an example of how the Broadway musical is dying. It's like if you took those songs and you played them for fucking Michael Bennett or Bob Fosse or Carol Hall or Stephen Sondheim or, you know, fucking Jerry Zaks, it's like they would be like, no, bad. Get me new
Stop.
songs.
Yeah.
Stop. It's like these are bad. No one is singing
Name
these.
4 current
bad.
musicals
It's
that
like,
you think
yeah.
this about.
Wait,
now.
what?
Name
said,
4
name
musicals
4 musicals.
on right now that you think is about.
Absolutely not. But no. But you could, I mean, I don't know.
know
Like
'em.
people could guess. Like sometimes, you know,
People can guess.
People will be, you know, people will talk about a show, or they'll talk about a show coming in, and I'll just say, I bet that's great. And people, you know, and people will be like, oh my God, you're so bad. And it's like, it shouldn't be that obvious that like this thing is a big fucking piece of shit. And it's
I
like everyone,
know.
and we're also in this place where like everyone always has to like pretend like everything is great. And then I'm just like, do people honestly think it's great? Or we're just like, we feel like in a post-COVID theater, you know, place, we have to act like these shows that are
I
just
know.
awful or
There's a
anything but
fear.
awful.
There's like people are scared to say bad things about theater because it's
Yeah.
like it seems like a delicate thing. Like
Right.
but is it gonna last if we're not hyped about it and dressing
About
up like the characters?
everything?
We went out and did some Man of the Street stuff during
Oh, Broadway Flea,
and
yeah.
we were trying to, and we won't blow the lead
Yeah.
for the end question we have for the
Oh,
show.
yeah.
We were asking questions like, it's a goofy question. What's a goofy answer? And they're like, nothing.
Everything
like
is
everything's
great.
perfect. It was
Yeah.
like, all right, I mean, you could say one bad thing. Like this is obviously we're doing a joke here,
Yeah.
but it's just like it seems like there's such a fragile time to be like, no, I didn't like that. Like I saw Big the Musical on the West End, the Tom Hanks movie adaptation.
Yeah.
Absolute pile of trash.
Yeah.
And I said it. I'm like, 'cause people
Yeah.
were just like, oh, it was great. I was like, did you watch this? I was almost, my eyes were throwing
Yeah.
up. It was awful.
I know.
The talent was there, but it was
I-
just a bad show.
I know.
My eyes were throwing
Yeah, I
up.
didn't know what to do with them. I wanted to take them out and like put them in my pocket. I was like, this is just the weirdest. It was the dumbest, bad
Yeah.
horror show I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I, you know, what's so then weird is that then I feel like things that are ambitious, things that are new and are at least trying,
Yeah.
and those things get shit on by, you know, by
Yeah.
critics or by, it's like, it's such a weird, the rules are so
It's very
like cockeyed
strange.
to
But
me.
that's why, like, you were saying, like the millions of dollars in bad songs. I was sitting there watching this show, going,
Yeah.
they're singing a song where the lyrics are basically like, "I used to be a kid, but today I'm a grown up." Like it was just, it was like nothing to the music. I was like, who said this was okay to do? You rented
He's like, my
screens.
best friend
Yeah.
wrote
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
No.
I wished, and then I woke up. It was just, it was
I like
bad.
Big Musical a lot, but
Do you really?
yeah, of course.
Did you
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I mean,
God,
I saw
hated
it. I
it
saw
so
it in.
much.
I saw it in '95. I saw the Broadway Big the Musical.
Oh, God, no. This was just a couple years
reinvention?
ago. It was not good.
Yeah.
Was it the same one?
I know. I didn't see it in. No, I saw this
95, but I mean,
4
it's
years,
the
6 years
same.
ago.
Probably, I
but
know.
it's the same. Yeah.
But it's probably the
I
same.
love that you. Not a lot of people like Big Musical, so you're not.
No, I
alone.
didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people like Big the Musical.
No, I love it. I love it. Don't hate me.
I don't care. No. I like the discourse.
Yeah,
baby.
yeah.
But it's just such a wild thing. But it's like for me, you know, there's all of these like conversations about how
Yeah.
like all these musicals are dying, all these shows last year, you know, everything closed and everything's losing millions of dollars. And it's it's like, but the shows that have been successful are MJ and Juliet and Six. Those are the 3 shows of the last few years that have been
that have recouped,
recouped and been, and are like real successes in the way that people talk about, success, which is money. And what I feel like no one talks about is that things that join those 3 shows are, there's not famous people in any of them.
Yeah.
So it's like all we have to deal with is like star casting and everything, right? And it's like none of those shows had famous people in them. So that to me is like, that's
Joey
a story.
Fatone is in.
That's a story.
Joey
Yeah,
Fatone.
I
you.
I forgot. Yeah. I'm sorry, Mr. Fatone.
But
lose my number. But like, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
That it's like when we're being told, like as someone who writes, musicals and then always wants to cast people who are like appropriate for the role as opposed to people who are like, famous or like worse yet, theater famous. It's like audiences didn't care that there wasn't like even like a theater famous person playing Michael Jackson. Like
right.
They didn't care that that it wasn't like, like Sutton Foster and Jesse Mueller and like whoever in Six, like they responded to the show and the material. And then in the case of Six, it's like that's a musical with original songs. Like
yes.
and there's no big production design. It's like a simple show. It's just about the material.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And that's why people liked it. And the fact that that's the only original musical that's been like a hit, that it is like the least expensive is just, it's mind blowing to me that it's like, that should be the story. That should be the thing that we talk about, not how like every big new musical is failing. It's like, no, look at the one that has been successful in the last few years. And it's like, what makes that successful? It's because people like the songs of that musical. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's poppy. And it's another one that's so interesting because it didn't win Best Musical.
Yeah.
It was Strange Loop.
Yeah. Which I love.
Yeah, Strange Loop was also great.
Yeah.
We just had Elle Morgan Lee here, and she was delightful.
I love Elle Morgan. Six feels like a musical that was written by human beings who had a passion for the material and who wanted to write the musical that we were seeing.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because it was written by human beings who had a passion for the material and wanted to write the musical we were seeing. It's like as simple as that.
Right.
You could feel it. Like you could feel it so hugely when like a musical is written by people who the story means something to them, and when it is written by people who were hired by insert big corporation here and put together with a room full of the sparkliest strangers you've ever seen.
Yeah.
None of them collaborate. None of them are in the same room, who show up like, at different times to make the show. You could just feel it, It's like the difference between like, it's like it's corporate art or it's just art, and it's like, which is not to say that like just art can't be commercial and it can't be based on movies. And it's like, because there's, like the Hairspray, I think is a great example of a show. It's like, it's based on a movie and it was put together by a producer, and you feel, I think, that those guys who made that show see themselves in all of those characters, and it feels like they're writing about themselves, even though they're writing about characters who are so far away from themselves. You just feel it, it's just different than I won't say the names of other shows that I hate desperately that feel very cynical to me,
Yeah.
But and also like the Six writers are musical theater writers. That's the other thing too that like we're dealing with now, where it's just like everyone's like hiring bands and singer-songwriters to write.
That's happening a lot now.
Musicals, which is like cute in theory, but I find that so many of them, I hear them talk about it, and they talk about how they hate musicals. They talk about how they don't know anything about musicals and how they're bringing something new to the world of musicals because they don't have the hang-ups of, musical theater writers. And it's just like, you don't even know what you're talking about. Like, it's like, and it's so funny to me. And it's like, I know there's all these like, all these musicals with these like sort of folk rock scores and it's like, they sound exactly the same. And they sound like 10 million musicals that have come before. It's just like the writers just don't know because, they've never listened to like, the cast recordings of the musicals of the 1970s like I have. It's just like it's I'm rambling now.
No. I totally get what you mean, because it's like you don't know the history of musical theater writers, like, so you can't come in and say that you're doing something different because you don't actually know.
Right.
Because
you don't know. Yeah, because you're not. Yeah.
You
and
don't
it's like,
know.
Yeah. And it's fine, but it's just like if you don't like musicals, then why you write a musical? You know, it's just write something else then.
Capitalism.
Yeah.
Capitalism. All right, Joe, you're a goddamn delight, but I have to ask you now. Oh, wait, one thing too, because I'm such a smash the show.
Yeah.
I have to clarify. Smash the Show.
I'm such a Smash.
I'm such a Smash the Show fan. And you wrote Broadway Here I Come. And I
did.
just rewatched the scene
Yeah.
before where Jimmy's singing it and like full chills. Like that is so fun. And you're part of this like weird because that's a fucking cult. The Smash Show
I
people
love it.
fan. I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. So I just want to say I rewatched that show and
Yeah,
I
thanks.
have been a fan since it was on the air before and then did a rewatch. And
Thanks.
it's
I
such
only recently watched it. I never watched it when it
The
was first
show?
on. Yeah.
it's so fun.
It's
Like
great.
it's so silly and fun. And you're like I remember rewatching it. I want to do a rewatch where I talk about how many times Ivy was out of her goddamn mind for the things that she did. And I want to be like, this was not okay. Okay, and then this is our ultimate question, Mike.
Yeah.
Sound cue.
You're not at a show. You are the show.
That was very spooky. All right, a la Masquerade. Phantom of the Opera is Phantom of the Opera is doing an immersive show.
Yes.
What show do you think would make the worst immersive experience?
Oh, the worst immersive experience. Oh my gosh. Oh God. The show that would make the worst
Buy yourself some time.
immersive.
I'd like to think you're thinking of which one of the 5 are you thinking do you want to say?
It's oh my, it's just I
Yeah.
feel like I just have all of them competing
Yeah.
in my head. I could just think of great ones. I feel like most shows that I don't like would be helped so hugely if they were immersive.
Really? That's an
Oh
interesting
my God.
take, too.
Yeah, totally. The one that would make the worst, I mean, this is the first thing that popped into my head. Angels in America.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That would be
That's a
yeah.
good one.
That would be good.
And I'm saying that because it also feels like the sort of show that would receive an immersive treatment. Like, doesn't it feel
Yeah.
like it's like it would cost $1,000 and it's like at St. Anne's Warehouse and
Yeah.
or like Angels in America, like in an actual hospital. Like it
Yeah.
feels like that's something that someone would do, and I think it's a very irritating idea. And so I'm already angry at the idea
And I was like-
of
and they-
immersive Angels in
and
America.
they make everybody learn that 50-page, 30-minute monologue.
Everyone has to say it in unison.
Everybody
Yeah.
has to sit on a bench and say it.
Yeah.
Joe Iconis, you're incredible. You're amazing. So happy that you stopped by the podcast. Please tell everyone where they can find you, where they can support you if you have anything to plug.
Yeah.
Because I definitely, I want to go to, because you have a Christmas show.
I do.
I want to go.
Yeah,
okay.
it's
at
the
54 Below.
15th. 54 Below. It's
love
the
54 Below.
15th annual Joe Iconis Christmas extravaganza.
Okay.
This is our 15th year of doing it. It's
We're going.
the weekend of December 12th. Please come.
Yeah.
It's a cast of usually between 60 and 70 people.
Yes.
It's there's
That's
nothing.
a lot of people
It's
on
so
that
many
stage,
people.
too.
Yeah. No,
I
it's
saw a clip where they're all like sitting down, and at one point you just see like 70 people trying to stand up back on stage. I was like, I love this.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that
No.
many people just like
Oh, yeah. With-
readjusting on stage.
Oh,
it made
it's
me
just
laugh.
yeah. It's like it's very old school. Like it's just people sitting on people. It's just
it.
sandwiches forever with like Annie Golden in the middle.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah. No, it's really good. Well, that's why like when you talk about like immersive shows, like our show, it's like because there's so many people, it can't help but be immersive. And
Right.
like
Right.
I
There's
am
nowhere
always
to sit but in the audience.
Yeah,
with
no,
with the
truly.
people on
And so
stage.
and so it's like I'm always very proud that we have people. We actually have people in the bathrooms, and like we have people like singing to people at urinals. Like
Stop.
No, I swear to God, like I'm not even kidding. Like
For
it's
15
like,
years.
It's, yeah, for
You've had
15
this.
years. Yeah, it's like why should you get a reprieve from theater as you're peeing? You know,
You
it's
should.
like
No.
you should have somebody in there performing for you, and so we do that. So please come and please come be sung to or perform for as
I
you
wish
pee.
I could have that for comedy. Like, just bring somebody on the road to me to be like, "You're the bathroom joke."
Yeah.
You wear the
Get in
bathroom
there.
jokes. When somebody leaves my show to go to the bathroom,
Some
you tell
comics
them
have
jokes.
speakers in the bathroom. We
Yeah.
have comics in the bathroom.
No, actual human beings. Yeah,
Yes.
relentless.
So the Christmas show and where else
The
can they
Christmas
find you?
show and Mr. Joe Iconis everywhere. I got tons of albums
Yeah.
on Spotify and all of your favorite streaming services. I have an album called Album with Iconis and Family that's 5 LPs. It's 3.5 hours long, and you can actually buy the vinyl version of it. It comes in a nice box, and if you don't have a vinyl player, you could use it as a coffee table. You could use it as a cheese tray. You could use it to fend off attackers.
Sure.
And so it's a great purchase, great for Christmas gifts, and
Multi
yeah.
uses.
And if you're a producer who's interested in new American musicals, you should hit me up about the untitled, unauthorized Hunter S. Thompson musical.
Yes.
It's the show that Broadway is clamoring for right now.
We need it.
Yeah.
We need it. It's the Muppet Show. The
Yeah.
real Muppet Show.
The real Muppet
the real,
Show, man.
no magic,
Yeah.
only drugs. Yeah. All right, everybody else, you know what to do. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, and come back next week. Tell 17 friends, tell 18 friends, and follow me on K-Space B. Follow the podcast. Follow Mike. Follow Joe, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye. Yes, that was awesome.
Is that all right?